So, are you using the right strategy for your rental property in the villages for 2024 and beyond? Let's find out. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. We're really happy that you could join us today. We're going to talk about strategy. And the strategy we're going to talk about is for renting your vacation home between the months of December and April. A couple of ways you can do that is a 1-3-1 strategy, or what I like to call the 1-2-2 strategy. So let's have a look and see where we're at in today's environment. Canadian exchange rate. That's a big factor because there are a lot of Canadians that come down to the villages for the winter season. And with the exchange being at about 30%, $6,500 Canadian works out to $5,000 US. So the cost to come down to the US and rent has gone up dramatically over the last 2 or 3 years, which is limiting their ability to spend money on rentals or decrease the amount of time that they're going to be in the US. Inflation, of course, has affected all of us. We're continuing to see inflation, and the US government is looking at increasing interest rates again, which will try to set the inflation standard and move it down towards what their benchmark is. But we're all dealing with that and the increased costs on all of our goods, whether it be water costs or irrigation costs, mortgage costs, whatever it might be, have all gone up dramatically. So those costs are being transferred down to the renter, which means that there are higher rents and more rent costs are going up. The rent is getting cost back down to the consumer. And that's why we're seeing a dramatic increase in rents in the villages. That may mean that there are shorter stays where people used to have X amount of dollars for 3 months. Now they may have the same budget, but they can't afford to be there the full 3 months anymore. It's getting more and more costly. In 2022, a 2-2 villa could go for about $4,000 a month. And then 2023, that was about $5,000 a month. We're looking at numbers in 2024, $6,000, $5,500 to $6,000 for the same home that 2 years ago was $4,000. And what that does is that it makes you realize that your budget may not change, but your length of time may change. So 3 years ago, if you had $12,000, you could rent a property in the villages for 3 months. Now that $12,000 only gets you 2 months. And I'm seeing more and more in a lot of the requests on the Facebook group pages, people are looking for January and February or March and April rather than January, February, and March. And a lot of this just goes to the fact that it's becoming more difficult for renters to book 3 months at a time due to the rising costs of the rentals. And it's harder and harder for owners to charge the same prices they did in 2021 because of all of the cost increases. So what is your strategy going to be for 2024 and beyond? Before I move forward, I just want to say thank you again for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow us on this channel. There's going to be a lot more information coming, and we do really appreciate the subscribers that have joined the channel. It helps us out a lot. On to the strategies. So 1-3-1 or 1-2-2. What does that mean? Let's dive into the 1-3-1. That means that December is a standalone month. January, February, and March are the 3-month block. And then April is a standalone month. And that is the traditional method that rents have happened in the villages. January, February months are the big earners, with December and April less so. For example, January, February, and March could be about $5,000 just hypothetically. December and April are going to be less than that, call it $4,000 each. The combination of $15,000 and the $8,000 brings you in $23,000 for those 5 months. Now that renters can only afford 2 months on the same budget, that strategy has to change. So what we're looking at now is a strategy of a 1-2-2, where December is a standalone month, January and February are combined, and March and April are combined, bringing you with the 1 month December, the 2 month January, February, and then the 2 month March, April. And the way that can translate into rents is that the December rent would be the same, $4,000, like we said in the previous example. But in the January and February, you could potentially increase your rent for those 2 months because it will still fall within most people's budget. So 5,500, same thing for March and April, 5,500. The total for those 2 months is $11,000 for each of those blocks, bringing the total to $26,000. So using the 1-2-2 strategy, it will open up more opportunities because you will see that there are people looking for the 2 month blocks, and you will make more rent, which will cover the increased expenses you have seen over the last 2 years. Of course, this video will be posted on our website, homeshomes.tv. Feel free to go there and check out this video and all the other videos that we've made for renters and for landlords. Let's recap that the 1-3-1 method of $23,000 and the 1-2-2 total of $26,000. Using the numbers that we have put out, the potential increase in your income is about 12% for the same period. And that goes a long way to paying off expenses that have increased dramatically over the last 2 years. So we really hope that this video helps you determine what strategy you're going to use in the future. Again, like us, share, subscribe, follow. We'd love to see all of you on the channel, and feel free to comment on this video and any other video that we have. We really appreciate your time.